Maize, or corn, is botanically known as maize, belongs to Poaceae family, and is one of the most important cereal crops in the world agricultural economy, both as food for man and feed for animals, including poultry. In India, maize is the third most important food crops after rice and wheat. Maize in India contributes nearly 9% in the national food basket and more than rupees 100 billion to the agricultural GDP, apart from generating employment to over 100 million man days at the farm and associated agricultural and industrial sectors. In addition to staple food for human beings and quality feed for animals, maize serves as a basic raw material as an ingredient to thousands of industrial products that includes starch, oil, protein, alcoholic beverages, food, sweeteners, pharmaceuticals, cosmetic, textile, gum, package, and paper industries, and so on. The vernacular names of maize is butta in Bengali, maka in Gujarati, maka in Hindi, Marathi and Oriya, musikina jola in Kannada, maka in Kashmir, cholam in Malayalam, maka cholam in Tamil, mokkajonnalu in Telugu. Origin: the discovery of fossil maize pollen with other archaeological evidences in Mexico indicates that Mexico is the native of maize. The maize was introduced into rest of the world by Columbus from America. Of the three believed ancestors, namely popcorn, wild maize, and teosinte, teosinte is accepted as ancestor of maize based on cytogenetical and molecular evidences. Geographic distribution: maize is the world's leading cereal crop. It is cultivated globally over an area of about 147.26 million hectares, with a production of 724.6 million metric tons of grain. The major maize producing countries are USA, China, Brazil, Mexico, Argentina, India, Canada, and Indonesia. In India, it is cultivated in more than 8.7 million hectares, mainly during Kharif season, which covers 80% of the area. Among states, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, and Bihar are leading producers of maize in India. Economic importance: it is staple human food, feed for livestock, and fermentation and many industrial uses. In India, the maize is used as human food about 23% of the production, poultry feed 51%, animal feed 12%, industrial, that is starch and other products 12%, beverages and seed 1% each. It is having abundant starch about 65%. There are two types of milling. Wet milling produces industrial starch like sweeteners, also produces various modified maize starch for paper lamination, textile wrap, sizing, and laundry finishing. Dry milled products are animal feed, brewing, breakfast cereals, other food. In India, dry milling is the predominant process for flour and animal feed, fermentation and distilling industries, and composite flours. Soil and climatic requirement. Climatic requirements. Maize is a warm weather crop and grows right from sea level to over 3000 msl altitude. It requires adequate moisture and warmth from sowing to end of flowering. The optimum temperature for germination is 21 degrees centigrade, while for growth it is 32 degrees centigrade. Extremely high temperatures coupled with low humidity are not conducive for pollination. It cannot withstand frost at any stage of its life cycle. The crop prefers the area receiving an annual rainfall of 50 to 100 centimeter. The crop also grows well in areas with annual rainfall of 250 to 400 centimeter, that's hilly area of Assam and West Bengal, provided the fields are not flooded. The crop needs more than 50% of its total water requirement in about 30 to 35 days after tasseling. Inadequate soil moisture at any grain filling stage results in poor yield of shriveled grains. Soils. The crop is grown on a wide range of soils. However, it prefers well-drained fertile soils. The soil should be medium textured with good water holding capacity. It does not thrive well on heavy clays, especially lowlands. It can be grown successfully in soils with pH ranging from 5.5 to 7.5. The alluvial soil of Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, and Punjab are suitable for raising good maize crop. The soils with sandy loam to silty loam texture are best for the crop. Land preparation. A deep summer plowing after rabi crop, followed by light plowing by country plow and planking is required. For heavy soils, 2 to 3 plowing are needed. In areas of high rainfall during Kharif, ridge and furrows are made to use furrows for provision of drainage. In Rabi, spring and summer seasons, planting in furrows is preferred over ridge planting. This is done for achieving higher water use efficiency. Sowing of seeds. Seed treatment. Use pelleted seeds with insecticides. Treat 1 kg of seeds with chloropyrifos 20 EC or monocrotophos 36 WSC or phospholane 35 EC at 4 ml plus 0.5 gram gum in 20 ml of water for the control of stem borer, or seed treatment with imidacloprid 70 water-soluble content 10 grams per kg of seeds. Seed treatment with metalaxyl or thiram at 2 grams per kg of seed for the control of downy mildew and crazy top. Seeds treated with fungicides may be treated with 3 packets of 600 grams per hectare of azospirillum before sowing. Time of sowing. With the availability of thermo and photo-insensitive varieties, it is now possible to grow this crop throughout the year. Usually, 3 crops of maize, namely Kharif, Rabi, and Spring, are grown in the country. As a rain-fed Kharif crop, maize sowing are spread over the months of June and July, corresponding with the onset of monsoons. In northern hilly areas, the crop is sown in May. As a irrigated Kharif crop, it is sown a fortnight or a month before onset of monsoon to avoid waterlogging damage to seedlings due to heavy rainfall. In North India, this practice helps in taking an early rabi crop of thoria or potato before wheat. Rabi and spring maize has become popular owing to higher yields. Besides, their sowing periods are flexible and thus can be fitted in any cropping system. Rabi maize in Bihar and surrounding states is sown from September to November. In northwestern plains zone, sowing should not be delayed beyond first fortnight of November as it leads to poor crop performance due to cold climatic conditions. The spring crop is sown during late January to end of February. Baby corn can be planted all the year round except December and January. Second week of September to first fortnight of February is the best for baby corn cultivation. For sweet corn, June-July, that is Kharif, and September-October, Rabi crop, are the optimum times of sowing. Seed rate and spacing. In maize, each plant is important for realization of potential yields. During Kharif, a plant population of 65,000 to 70,000 per hectare is recommended for grain production. The seed should be sown at a spacing of 75 cm into 18 cm or 60 cm in 22 cm. A seed rate of 20 kg per hectare is required. In Rabi season, plants put up moderate growth owing to low temperature. Hence, it requires 30 to 40% higher population than that of Kharif season. A plant density of 85,000 to 1 lakh plant is maintained. The plant spacing vary from 50 into 20 cm to 60 into 18 cm. A seed rate of 25 to 30 kg per hectare is required. For baby corn, the optimum plant density varies from 1,25,000 to 1,43,000 per hectare with spacing pattern of 40 into 40 cm to 40 into 35 cm with 2 plants per hill. In short, staggered hybrids, as in case of VL42 with 160 cm height, still higher plant density, that is about 1,75,000 per hectare, is maintained. Thus, baby corn would require 38 to 50 kg per hectare of seed. The optimum population for sweet corn varies from 45,000 to 66,000 per hectare with spacing of 70 into 30 cm or 100 into 15 cm. This would require a seed rate of 10 to 11 kg per hectare. Method of sowing. Commercially, the crop is sown by drilling with seed drill. This method is quick and is suitable for light soils at all moisture levels and in other soils at optimum soil moisture. For maintaining optimum population and to avoid thinning, seeds are debilled manually at required spacing. This method requires less seed rate and is best for costly varieties or hybrids. Dropping the seeds in the furrows opened by plow followed by planking is also one of the common methods of sowing. After germination, the seedlings are thinned out to maintain optimum plant stand. Hill sowing is the other method adopted for sowing. In this method, the seeds are dropped with the help of corn planter placed at appropriate place and pressed for dropping 3 to 4 seeds at a place, that's in one hill. It also needs relatively less seed. The optimum depth of sowing is 7 to 8 cm in Kharif and 4 to 5 cm in Rabi. The optimum planting depth for sweet corns is 3 to 4 cm, while for super sweet corns it is 2.5 cm. A seedling per hill is optimum for all maize types. However, 2 seedlings per hill are optimum for baby corn. Varieties. Maize is an annual C4 plant classified into 7 groups based on the endosperm of kernels. Dent corn, Z. maize indentata. It is popularly known as dent corn because of the dent formation on the top of the kernel having yellow or white color. The depression or dent in the crown of the seed is the result of rapid drying and shrinkage of the soft starch. Flint corn, Z. maize indurata. The endosperm in this type of maize kernel is soft and starchy in the center and completely enclosed by a very hard outer layer. The kernels are round on the top. The color may be white or yellow. It is an early maturity variety and can germinate in cold and wet soil. It is grown in Europe, Asia, Central America, and South America. It is principal type of grain corn grown in India. Popcorn, Z. maize everta. The kernel is very small and the endosperm is hard. When they are heated at 170 degrees centigrade, the pressure built up within the kernel suddenly results in an explosion and the grain is turned inside out. The grain is used for human consumption and is the basis of popcorn confections. Its cultivation is mainly confined to America. Flour or soft corn, Z. maize amylacea. It possesses a soft endosperm. Kernels are soft and of various colors, but white and blue are most common. They are like fruit kernels in shape. It is widely grown in the USA and South Africa. Sweet corn, Z. maize saccharata. The sugar, it is about 20% on dry basis at green ear stage, and starch makes the major component of the endosperm, which results in sweetish taste of the kernel before they attain the maturity. After maturity, the kernels become wrinkled. The cobs are picked up green with 70% moisture for canning and table purpose. The crop is mainly grown in northern half of the USA and Canada. Yellow is predominant grain color and are rich in vitamin A and C. Podcorn, Z. maize tunicata. Each kernel is enclosed in a pod or husk in an ear which is enclosed in husks like other type of corn. It is a primitive type of crop not grown commercially. Waxy corn, Z. maize serratina. Kernels have waxy appearance. Starch is entirely composed of amylopectin in contrast to common dent corn starch with 78% amylopectin and 22% amylose. Waxy corns are Chinese origin. The mutations of dent corn have resulted in evolution of waxy corn in USA. The waxy corn hybrids developed in USA with starch similar to tapioca are grown for supplying raw materials for specialty products of the wet milling starch industry for textile and paper sizing and for corn oil. Hybrid maize. The first coordinated crop improvement project was launched on maize by ICAR in 1957. Presently, over 20 hybrids, including double cross, double top cross, and three-way cross, besides many composites and synthetics, are released to the farmer for their commercial utilization. Kisan, Jawahar, Sona, Vijaya, Amber, and Vikram were released in 1967. Vijay became popular not only in India but also in neighboring countries like Pakistan and Nepal. To enhance the performance of composite varieties by accumulating favorable alleles, infra-population improvement program at the national level was initiated in 10 elite composites of various maturity groups. 5 broad-based gene pools in 2 grain colors, that is yellow and white, AB yellow, AB white, BC yellow, CD yellow, CD white, were constituted to develop promising varieties and hybrids. The cultivars such as CO1, COHM4, COHM5, COBC1, that's baby corn, suit in Tamil Nadu. Other varieties of corn. Baby corn. Baby corn is the corn harvested early while the stalks are still small and immature. It typically is eaten whole, cob included, in contrast to mature corn, whose cob is too tough for human consumption. It is eaten both raw and cooked. Baby corn is common in stir-fry dishes. Striped corn. It is named as Z. maize japonica. Striped maize has both variegated leaves and colorful ears. Leaves are striped white, green, yellow, and red and pink. Ears have dark purple tassels and bright red kernels. The kernels seem to develop better when plants are spaced at least 18 inches apart. Plants grow to about 6 feet. It has mainly of ornamental value than commercial value. Cultural practices and yield. Application of farmyard manure or compost. Spread 12.5 metric ton per hectare of farmyard manure or composted coir pith evenly on the unplowed field along with 10 packets of azospirillum 2 kg per hectare and incorporate in the soil. Field preparation. Plow the field with disc plow once followed by cultivator or plowing twice after spreading farmyard manure or compost till a fine tilth is obtained. Forming ridges and furrows or beds. Form ridges and furrows providing sufficient irrigation channels. The ridges should be 6 meters long and 60 centimeters apart. If ridges and furrows are not made, form beds of 10 square meter or 20 square meter depending on the availability of water. Use a bund farmer or ridge plow to economize cost of production. Application of fertilizers. Apply NPK fertilizers as per soil test recommendations as far as possible. Else, adopt a blanket recommendation of 135 is to 62.5 is to 50 NPK in kgs per hectare. Apply quarter of the dose of N, full dose of P2OK and K2O basally before sowing. In case of ridge planted crop, open a furrow 6 cm deep on the side of the ridge at 2/3 and distance from the top of the ridge. Apply the fertilizer mixture along the furrows evenly and cover to the depth of 4 cm with soil. If bed system of plantation is followed, open furrows 6 cm deep at a distance of 60 cm apart. Place the fertilizer mixture along the furrows evenly and cover to a depth of 4 cm with soil. When azospirillum is used as seed and soil application, apply 100 kg of N per hectare. This helps in 25% reduction on the total nitrogen recommended by soil test. Application of micronutrients. 12.5 kg of micronutrient mixture formulated by the Department of Agriculture, Tamil Nadu, or any other certified institutions are mixed with sand to make a total quantity of 50 kg per hectare is to be applied. Apply the mixture over the furrows and two-thirds in the top of the ridges if ridge planting is followed. If bed system of sowing is followed, apply the micronutrient mixture over the furrows. Weed management. Apply the pre-emergence herbicide atrazine 50 WP at 500 gram per hectare in 900 liters of water at 3 days after sowing as spray on the soil surface, followed by one hand weeding on 40 to 45 days after sowing. Apply herbicide when there is sufficient moisture in the soil. Do not disturb the soil after herbicide application. If herbicide is not applied, hoe and hand weed on the 17th or 18th day of sowing. Caution: if pulse crop is to be raised as intercrop, do not use atrazine. Thinning and gap filling. If two seeds were sown, leave only one healthy and vigorous seedling per hill and remove the other on the 12th or 15th day after sowing. Where seedlings have not germinated, dibble pre-soaked seeds at the rate of 2 seeds per hole and immediately irrigate. Hoeing, hand weeding, and earthing up. Hoe and hand weed on the 30th day of sowing. Earth up and form new ridges so that the plants come directly on the top of the ridges. This will provide additional anchorage to the plants. Top dressing with nitrogen. Place half of the dose of nitrogen on the 25th day of sowing along the furrows evenly and cover it with soil. Place the remaining quarter of nitrogen on the 45th day of sowing. Water management. Maize crop is sensitive to both moisture stress and excessive moisture. Hence, regulate irrigation according to the requirement. Ensure optimum moisture availability during the most critical phase, that is, 45 to 65 days after sowing. Otherwise, yield will be reduced by a considerable extent. Regulate irrigation according to the following growth phase of crop. Critical stages are sixth leaf, late knee-high, tasseling, 50% of silking, and dough stage, of which tasseling and silking are most critical stages, and water stress during these stages reduces the maize yield considerably. About 600 to 700 mm is needed for 100 days crop. Harvesting. Stage of harvest. The sheath covering of cob will turn yellow and dry at maturity. The seeds become fairly hard and dry. At this stage, the crop is ready for harvest. Harvesting. Tear off the cob sheath by using the gunny thread needle and remove the cobs from the plant. Carry out harvest operations at a single stage for easy transportation. Threshing cobs. Dry the cobs under the sun till the grains are dry. Use mechanical threshers or by running the tractor over dried cobs to separate the grains from the shank. Clean the seeds by winnowing. Collect and store the dry grains in gunny bags. Stock for cattle field. Maize straw can also be used as a good cattle field when it is green. Harvest the crop and cut the green straw into bits with a chaff cutter or chopping knife and feed the cattle. Yield. Average yield of 5 to 6 tons of grain yield and 10 tons per hectare of straw yield can be obtained. In case of baby corn, about 6 tons per hectare of cob yield with 25 tons of per hectare of green fodder yield can be obtained. Summary. Maize or corn is botanically known as Maize, belongs to Poaceae family and is one of the most important cereal crops in the world. In addition to staple food for a human being and quality feed for animals, maize serves as a basic raw material as an ingredient to thousands of industrial products that includes starch, oil, protein, alcoholic beverages, food sweeteners, pharmaceuticals, cosmetics, film, textile, gum, package and paper industries. In India, it is cultivated in more than 8.7 million hectares, mainly in the states of Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, and Bihar. Maize is a warm weather crop and grows right from sea level to over 3000 MSL altitude. It requires adequate moisture and warmth from sowing to the end of flowering. The optimum temperature for germination is 21 degrees centigrade, while for growth it is 32 degrees centigrade. The crop is grown on a wide range of soils with pH ranging from 5.5 to 7.5. Maize is an annual C4 plant classified into 7 groups based on the endosperm of kernels, namely dent corn, flint corn, popcorn, flour corn, sweet corn, pod corn, and waxy corn. Hybrid corn varieties are commercially popular for their versatility. Maize crop is sensitive to both moisture stress and excessive moisture. Hence, irrigation is to be regulated according to the requirement. Optimum moisture is to be ensured during the most critical phases 45 to 65 days after sowing. Average yield of 5 to 6 tons of grain yield and 10 tons per hectare of straw yield can be obtained.